Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially field command and advanced battlefield tactics. And we are continuing on with our Weak Army series. We are continuing to stoke fear in the hearts of powerful enemies all across Calradia with our army of mediocre troops. We're attacking this castle here merely to trigger the alarm bell, hoping to fight elite troops. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah, we're not about to be marrying off our children, future murderers of your kingdom, especially to dipshits who look like that, with terrible fucking mustaches. No fucking deal. Fucking idiots. But we are looking for Aserai forces to fight here, and what I'm particularly looking for is high-level armies. I'm not interested in mediocre armies. We have a potential battle coming here. Let's see. Let's get a little closer here and see the composition of this army. Whoa! 174 Vanguard Ferris, 116 Master Archers, 84 Palace Guards. Okay, so this is an absolutely stacked army. Let's see. This might even be too hard for us to challenge, but we're going to try anyways here. We've got militia and Tier 3 and Tier 4 in our army. I don't think we have any Tier 5 in our entire army. Well, actually, I beg your pardon. We've got these two here at the bottom of her list. Unfortunately, my companions are upgrading characters, upgrading troops. I can't stop them from doing that. We're just going to roll with it. We've got these two. We're against this incredibly tough force. Even this other army is absolutely stacked with tough troops. And I'm also going to join the battle here. Let's see. Where's this relic from my grandfather was our smith? Where the fuck is this thing? Here it is, the Aristocracy Equalizer. This fucking two-handed mace, it doesn't do massive damage, but it will fucking dismount guys with dishonor, and it will certainly help me participate in this battle. This Aserai force looks like they got hesitant as soon as I fucking wielded that two-handed mace. I don't blame them. Alright, here we go here.
Well, if it got...
Let's see, both of them, alright, they're both entering battle here. And this is going to be one hellaciously hard challenge. I mean, it looked like, just at a glance, I'll have to go back and look at it, but it looked like they had maybe 500 or 600 Tier 5 and Tier 6 units here. So we're going to use normal player damage, of course. And depending on how this goes, we may get massacred. If we make a fight of this, I may do an RTS mod. Not RTS mod. I may do a RTS showing of this after this battle and kind of see... kind of try to demonstrate some of the tactics that we're going to try here. So I'm formulating a plan here, and against the Aserai and Khazad especially, I like to run an inner circle of hell. I'll explain that a little bit in a minute, but what it is basically is an outer concentric ring of defending heavy cavalry, and then the inner core is basically a destructive force to destroy the enemy. Now this is even better. This tree here will provide a ridge. It's a little bit of a peekaboo ridge tactic, which will force their archers to come over that ridge before they can actually attack us. So we'll have defense from that hill, and inside this circle, after their heavy cav has been slowed down, we can maul them with troops. So the first division, usually I'm going to assign that as a defensive division. We'll use them as a square. Let's see. Oh, this is perfect. This gal, increased damage against mounted troops, and we can stick him as the first commander. But the idea of this strategy is to slow down the enemy heavy cav, block a lot of their attacks with this cav, and then kill them once they're inside the inner circle of hell, right? That's why I named it like that. The idea is to basically lure them into an arena where they get fucking mangled. Now, I want to set up the 4th Corps as a purely crossbow related corps, because we will use them in a defensive manner. We will use them as a distractionary square and hopefully try to take away some of the attention from our main force, right? If I can get their Aserai Ferris to attack a square of archers, of crossbowmen, that's less guys that will be attacking us in here inside the ring. Alright, so the first is, that's going to be our defensive component of this. The 6th is skirmishers, and that 3rd division right here, those guys are going to be our murderers. They're almost all two-handed weapons, motherfuckers. And when the enemy comes into this ring, we are going to absolutely unleash hell on them. Now, I'd like this crossbow division, let's see, I want them in a position where they can attract enemy attention early on here. So this ridge seems pretty good. They'll be able to shoot down on the enemy, but I think I want them to be able to help us too with shooting us. So I think we're going to put them off to the side here. I think this side area over here, I'll be able to spread these guys out. They'll be able to help us shoot, but it'll also still grab the attention of the enemy, and we'll be able to square those guys to give them protection against the thousands of javelins that will be coming in on them. Look at this fucking guy. You want some? Yeah, I don't think so, dude. This thing will do major damage, of course. Whatever it does, the blunt does. I think it basically does more damage to higher armored troops, if I remember right. I haven't really used this very much. It's kind of a clumsy weapon, but it'll be fun in this battle, and I can use this to sort of even out for the fact that we're unbelievably outgunned. Plus, it's going to be fun. If this battle is even somewhat successful, as in if we don't get totally massacred, I will do an RTS follow-up to this. I'll just reload the save game. I'm pretty sure I can get the same battle to happen. And we will try to show you this inner circle of hell. Okay, so these guys got a square right away. I will try to show you this effectively from a top-down view, so that you who don't like the battle from this perspective, or that want to see it from a different view, can sort of take a look. Now it's time to fucking dismount and dishonor some of these Aserai forces here. It will kill guys, of course, but a lot of the damage is going to be low, but I'm going to be trucking guys from their horses, right? We're going to knock a lot of these Aserai fucks into the dirt. Get off your horse, nobleman. Alright, here comes their infantry, and so here's where the inner circle of hell hopefully pays off. This first infantry is going to go into a square. We're going to pull the third back, and when the enemy vanguard comes into our square here, wow, look at the crossbow unit is like totally distracting their Aserai Ferris. We are going to absolutely unleash hell on them. That's them there. They're right over the ridge, and they're already getting pounded by javelins, crossbows, and arrows. Now when they come in here, it's going to be a four-sided attack, right? The 1st, 6th, 3rd, and 4th division, or excuse me, 5th division, all attacking at once. The 1st is in a square. That's because I want them sort of being the shield of this attack. They're in defense. The rest of us are attacking ruthlessly, including all those shock troops. And look at the death span. These are high-level troops, and we are laying on a whipping to them. Now, they're going to cause damage, right? These are palace guards, and every single one of these units of the enemy here is tier 5. So we're definitely suffering losses here. You can't hope for no losses here, but we're holding our own here, right? We're basically going toe-to-toe with lower-level troops, and we're at least holding our own here. I actually see quite a bit of positive death span. Now, I see arrows flying in here. The enemy has horse archers, too, it looks like. But look at their Aserai Ferris over there. They're totally distracted by those crossbow divisions. I mean, their crossbow division is going to be fucked over there. They're being totally swarmed. I can start to assist them here, and we may eventually pull these guys out of the circle. But it did a really good job of keeping the brunt of these guys from mauling us early in this battle. All right, let's attack this Ferris unit with our cav. I'm doing this because I'm trying to protect our archers now. We took out their main vanguard of infantry. Now we have to deal with this huge force of noble Aserai units here. And I'm going to be trying to smoke these archers whenever I get a chance. These guys are starting to set up, but a lot of them couldn't shoot for a long time. In fact, a lot of these guys still can't see our units because of that ridge defense. Chucked that guy and knocked him off the cliff. Alright, the archers are free. That's beautiful. Our infantry divisions are all rampaging. I'm not going to be micromanaging them at this stage. It's rather a lot of chaos here. And we just have to keep on basically applying pressure to this Aserai Ferris group. It's a huge number of noble troops, right? That's a banner knight. I mean, they just have an incredibly strong force. Yeah, we're suffering a lot of loss. I will consider this a success if we take out 70% of their force. This is one of those battles I just can't hope to win. And I am fighting. I know a lot of this series I haven't been fighting. I looked at this and I was like, well, it's an opportunity to do some tactics, but we can't even. Okay, I just got reinforcements. It's a beautiful location too. The archers are already spread. We're just not going to be able to even make a fight of this unless I do a little damage myself. Plus, I get a little bit of bloodlust. We'll mix it up in this series. Most of them I'll be doing just command. But in this episode, I'm going to do some fighting. Alright, let's push archers, infantry up into the face of the enemy archers here. Our archers below them are getting set up beautifully, and it's a huge tranche. These are all, of course, Master Archer. The enemy still has incredibly elite troops. But we're holding our own. Like, it's not nearly as bad a massacre as I thought it might be. Right, against such an onslaught of javelins, right? The enemy, every single one of these fucks is either an Aserai Ferris or a veteran Ferris or a vanguard Ferris, right? Then they have all these tier 5 horse archers. heavy Mamluk cavalry. And I see quite a bit of green deathspan, right? We're definitely holding our own. Of course, this just absolutely lays waste to horse archers, right? This thing might as well be called like the bane of horse archers. I'm going to get an infantry division here to face the enemy here in shield wall to absorb some of these arrows, basically forming a haphazard, very improv circle here. We're putting infantry on the other side here and trying to protect these archers somewhat while we counter fire on their horse archers. It'll also stop them from charging through at a high rate of speed. And I'm going to continue to fucking ragdoll these horse archers. Yeah, I'm getting shot to pieces. But we're doing some good counter work here. Our archers have a beautiful position. We have 130 guys here, and we have decent archers. We have a lot of tier 3. We have quite a bit of tier 4 archers in our army. So it's really only one level down from most of their archers, right? I think it's the Aserai archer, in fact, is a tier 4. Of course, they have master archers. You know, they still have better troops than us. These are all tier 4, tier 4 guys. Yeah, I'm getting shot to shit. The good thing is I do have the RTS mod loaded. Okay, so here comes another infantry vanguard. Let's distract them with the square. Let's bring up our other divisions here, and then let's get... Oh, we got a cav division and an infantry... Holy shit, it's all palace guards still. Let's get another infantry division. I'm getting stuck. There's so many of these fucks. Let's get another infantry division on the side and try to roll up the enemy's right flank. All right, infantry division holding the center. Let's get the 1st and 6th to the enemy's right here and try to sweep in on... God damn, now that's a big fucking force of tough infantry. I mean, this is like trying to roll up 3 tigers with a guy with a broom. Yeah, and the screen is very red. Now their archers are starting to get set up on this ridge. I think most of our infantry is dissolved there. Alright, we're going to have to send this back infantry in as well. The only good news at this stage is that the enemy is right near our respawn point, right? When we get reinforcements, they're going to pop up like right here, and we're going to get like a wave of 100 infantry right in the face of the enemy. Right? As we suffer losses, you get reinforcement waves, and because the enemy's a long way from their reinforcement spot, we're going to get troops basically. I think they might have just popped in. It's hard to tell. There's so many fucking troops here. But that's definitely going to help this battle. Master Archer, Jesus Christ. Let's move infantry on these heavy-duty archers of theirs. We have to figure these guys out. I see some green death spam. It's starting. There's a glimmer of hope here, right? As the enemy forces now are starting to get to more middle tier. Maybe, you fucking asshole, fuck you. Maybe we got a shot here. I mean, and I'm thinking right now, maybe we can fucking win this. Just maybe. Of course, it helps that I'm clubbing every other person to the ground. All right, let's send this infantry right in and devour their fucking infantry. We can knock some of these guys to the ground first. Down he goes. Down goes the Jarl. Let's see, this is one of his cousins. He's a fairly capable, he's a defensive cav. He's got a shield, javelins, and a one-handed weapon. But at least I'll be able to command troops and do a little bit of damage on the side here. Zelik, this guy here. He's got very good armor. Oh, so we did get reinforcements right in the face of the enemy here. This is beautiful. So archers are unloading now on their archers. It's in a big, long line. Let's get our infantry set up towards the front, and let's drag cav right the fuck through their archers. This guy's, you know, he's gonna be kind of light damage, but I can cut down a few units of my own. And most importantly, we're still able to do tactics here, right? We got a cav line here defending our archers as they set up, and we've got infantry bearing down on any of their archers that are still alive. Also, that Peekaboo Ridge strategy I was talking about, that means their troops have to come over that ridge and get shot to pieces when they do, right? They can't shoot at us until they come over this ridge. Meanwhile, our archers, as soon as they see them, right, it's just fucking death by 100 arrows. We have a beautiful position here. Okay, another line of tough infantry. It's probably best to square our infantry here, or pull it. Let's pull it to the side here, so they have a nice angle and we can get some crossfire with our archers. I think a square makes more sense. These guys are all two-handed axemen. Our archers are set up with a beautiful spot though. Let's drag Cav behind them here. This is a little hammer and anvil. Right now our Cav is charging in behind this enemy force. You see our Cav comes right in behind here. Death spam ensues. And our infantry is slugging it out here. Okay, they have archers here now. Let's drag our Cav right through here and just truck all these archers before they can even set up. Now notice these guys aren't even shooting. That's because of this Peekaboo Ridge strategy. I can get this line of Cav just in a shield wall right in front of the enemy. They won't be able to shoot. Meanwhile, our infantry is going to be barreling through here. So the only thing that archer sees is an angry two-handed weapon infantryman right in their face, right? They don't even ever get a shot off. Come on, boys. March through here. This would be sick if we could pull this one off. The enemy is down to tier 3 units at this stage. These are Aserai, or well, maybe they're tier 4 Aserai archers. Our infantry is just rampaging though. Look at these guys. Just mauling every archer in sight. Keep pushing, boys. The archers are fucking falling back. Okay, they're gonna reform here. We will set up on the other side of the ridge here with an archer line. Let's get Cav pulled over. Are they? Are they fucking routing? Wow, we can't assume. We're gonna pull our forces up here and aggressively pursue these guys and try to kill their morale. I think this battle is over. Unfucking believable. Well, like a few of our series, I think this is an anomaly. I would not... Yeah, they have low-level troops. They're out of here. This battle is fucking over. I don't think this is... this was incredible that we were able to defeat this force. I mean, they had... I'll have to go back and look at it, but they had an unbelievably powerful army. And we sent them... We killed their strong guys and sent the rest of them running for the hills. And can you blame their low-level troops? They just saw Aserai Vanguard Ferris mowed down like they were fucking nothing. I don't blame the rest of them for running off into the desert. I would run too. That was fucking badass. If I do say so myself, right? Humble is our middle name, right? Cut down a few more archers here. Run them over. I am going to do another filming of this. We will do an RTS shot of the same battle. I think I can get the same army. It was like maybe 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes before this battle started that I started recording. So I think I can get this same battle, and we will try this with the RTS mod. The RTS mod, of course, allows you to shoot from overhead. That means we'll be able to show all you players who are learning tactics or want to see some of the advanced things we're doing here. It'll give you a better perspective of how this looks, right? How the inner circle of hell looks, how the Peekaboo Ridge is set up so that you have that defensive line that the enemy has to come over. And obviously, as this battle shows, even with tier 2, 3, and 4 troops, it can still be very effective. I know we do have some tier 5 in this battle, but look at this. We lost 700 and some. So that means we still had, some 250 troops left, and we devastated this much larger force, right? Of course, Zuvan killed a lot with his hammer, his aristocracy equalizer. It's inspired by the French Revolution, right? Voltaire would be proud. And the Falksmen did nice work. The heroes did nice work. It was it looks like it was a group effort, though. None of the units, the line breakers, did massive damage. Those are two-handed weapon sturgeons. Those guys are pretty fierce. They had an incredible KDR. And that crossbow division, man, I'll have to watch this over again. But they did an incredible job of distracting the Aserai Vanguard Ferris. It just looked like a swarm of bees attacking that squared crossbow division, and I think that was a big reason we pulled this off. Whew, man, these episodes, they're fun, but they're kind of stressful too, because I want to win, and obviously, even though it doesn't mean anything for my campaign, a really fun challenge, right, like playing a really intense game of chess or any other sport, is stressful and exhilarating when you can pull off an incredible victory like this. This is... we'll see. We'll see what happens with the RTS mod. We're going to try this exact same battle over again. I will reload this and be right back with you in a moment. All right, so we are back, and we're going to give this a shot. This time, we're going to use the RTS mod for an overhead view. Now, I'm trying to replicate all the same things I did in that first episode here. We're basically looking for that same large Aserai force so that we can have a virtually identical battle to that first one. Unfortunately, I didn't save it right before that battle happened, and it's possible that they don't show up. And again, we have the same army. It looks like we have 2 or 3 tier 5 units that my companions are upgrading. But it's largely a lower tiered army against this monstrous Aserai force. Okay, so I recall their force being larger. Maybe, oh, you know what happened? There was another Aserai force that was part of the last battle that is not in this battle. But nevertheless, we're gonna give this another shot here. Again, I'll be able to walk you through using the RTS mod, right? I'm flying around with this blimp view, and hopefully this will give players out there an idea of this inner circle of hell, how you can pull this tactic off in your own game. Now, this tactic does require micromanaging, right? I would put it up there on that ridge there if I can do that. The problem with that, though, is it's closer to the enemy spawn point. So I think back here by this tree is optimal. I'm going to set it up in more or less the same spot. It seems like we're on a slightly different angle of this battlefield than last fight, but it still should be a very similar effect. So this inner circle of hell, right, is basically a defensive structure, and you don't need a tremendous amount of micromanaging to pull this off, right? The main thing you need is to set up your units in a way that is efficient. So towards the front, we have a defensive line of infantry, right? That's basically going to be the square. You can think of them as like the shield. And the 3rd infantry, these shock troops, is a sword, right? The 1st division defends, and that 3rd division attacks. Now again, we're going to set up this crossbow division. I get that by assigning it that shield, and that'll basically mean that most of my 5th archers are standard archers, and most of my archers in the 4th corps will be shield archers. Now inside this inner circle of hell, there are 2 variations, but sometimes I like to have my skirmishers protecting the archers like this, right? Their infantry is in the front there, the 3rd is behind them in a square, and then over here somewhere we'll put this 4th corps. This little ridge here looks kind of nice. It's definitely a different location than the last battle. I noticed little tiny differences, but it's still similar enough that this should be a good example of what you can do here. And again, the archers are in here, the skirmishers there, guys that can throw javelins, are right in front of them, giving them a layer of protection. I'm actually going to move. It's hard to move it, by the way. This is something you want to set up before battle and not after battle. And of course, unless you're using the RTS mod, it's a little easier, right? I can sort of see things or micromanage it beautifully from up high. But this is the kind of formation you do want to play around with, and you can play around with this in the custom battle, right? I actually have a handful of custom battles where I've tried this. And this is what the square looks like, right? All of these, I think they're tier 3 or tier 4 Valandian crossbowmen. They have shields, and they have nice big shields. So it's a very strong defensive unit when you need it to be so. A lot of people use crossbow in the traditional way, or archers in the traditional way, right? You shoot the enemy. Well, these Valandian crossbowmen have this incredible versatility. And I learned this just kind of playing around with battles when I was playing Valandia, but also in the custom battle series. I've experimented quite a bit with it, and we've learned some really interesting tactics to try. All right, so the 1st division there, and the idea is to put them in a square as the enemy approaches in the ring, and then attack them with the 3rd and the 6th. Now, another difference, of course, in this episode is that Zuvan isn't running around killing whatever 110 guys like he killed the first battle. So we do have that handicap. Now, what happens when you use the RTS mod is, as well as I can tell, is the AI takes over your character and runs around out there. So it'll also be interesting to see how the AI does with my elite character. I think Zuvan's level 53, 332 handed skill. It'll be interesting to see how the AI does. And look at this fucking Aserai Ferris, right? It's just this wall of tier 6 Aserai Ferris. These guys must want to die first. They are charging aggressively. They're going to get pounded with javelins. I just saw a guy get ragdolled. And you see how the enemy has to approach over that ridge by that tree. Now their Ferris doesn't seem to be heading towards the crossbowmen. I may have these guys too far away to really grab the attention of the enemy. So I might that already is another thing that's different in this second battle. So the Vanguard Ferris, unfortunately, is coming into the ring here, so we're going to have to deal with them and the enemy infantry Vanguard at the same time. Now this does work well for cavalry, right? As the enemy enters here, you attack it with the 3rd, 6th, and 5th. You actually attack it with archers and tell them to hold fire, because you want all these vanguard bears that are sort of stood up to be attacked by archers that are swinging their weapons, right? It's still very deadly to be attacked by a bunch of archers, even if they're swinging their weapons, because they're all around you. Critically, of course, their heavy horse can't move. And heavy horse that can't move is basically dead men on a horse. See, they're getting skewered. I still don't see the enemy vanguard. But you see, there's a lot of green death spam, even though these are elite troops attacking our 2, 3, 4 archers. And their vanguard is kind of in a mishmash towards the front. That's not good. And our archers here are really in a bad spot. It looks like the enemy archers have homed in on them. They're probably going to have to just defend themselves. So there's already a significant difference between this battle and the first one. This battle, I have to deal with this Vanguard Ferris and their Vanguard at the same time. This is going to be much harder. I'm squaring up the 4th Corps over there because they're being attacked by Vanguard Ferris and enemy archers. You can see they're just being absolutely pounded with projectiles. That square will give them some chance to survive, but frankly, they're in a bad way too. Here, this has devolved kind of desperately. I'm now charging with this 2nd cav line. In other words, the inner circle of hell. I'm removing the defensive element of it and having them attack, because we need every single unit we can get to counter the enemy here. Now, I need my reinforcements to pop up, because then they can immediately start to shoot and attack all these stood-up cavalry, right? If I can get a bunch of archers and infantry, the screen is very red. And I think this shows a little bit how the first battle was a bit of an anomaly. A bit of you want to call it a lucky variation, that's fine, I would accept that. We were basically fortunate that their Vanguard Ferris, this is terrible. Fortunate that their Vanguard Ferris magnetized to our troops. This is the opposite. They put my reinforcements in a terrible spot, all the way on the other side of the battlefield. Still, we're going to try to overcome this disadvantage. You see our forces are totally separated here. I've got the 5th and the remnant of the 2 infantry divisions wailing away here, but these forces are grievously reduced. And there's Vanguard Ferris now rampaging all over the whole battlefield. Worse, I've got my archers here in an awful spot, and my infantry have to run a long ways before they're going to be active. All right. So let's see what we can do here. Let's get creative. I do have another bit of a peekaboo ridge here. Any ridge where the enemy has to approach over the top of it and attack you is a good defensive structure for archers. So I'm bringing my infantry down here. You can see our skirmishers are going to work, and they're eventually going to eat into that archer line. Then we can put our archers down here, because this ridge has not only a channel, but it has a lower elevation ridge leading to the enemy forces that will serve as a bit of a defensive structure. But to say that these 2 battles are going differently would be an understatement, right? Our main vanguard here, our main force is completely dissolved. And our reinforcements are in an absolutely shitty spot. I don't even know where for sure to move these archers to. They're being pursued by Vanguard Ferris. Fortunately, our infantry line has reached their archers. I can start to see the death spam with master archers being mauled. But man, is the screen red. It's putting even more reinforcements kind of right in the middle of the enemy. Sometimes the reinforcement system fucks you big time. I can try, I don't think it's going to be effective. I can try putting this infantry into a circle. I think it actually makes more sense maybe to do a line or even a skein formation here. Anything that will sort of absorb some of these Vanguard Ferris. We've got a handful of troops that are left back here roaring. They're all, yeah, roar. The sound in this game is just fucking phenomenal. Well, there's a little wave of green. I don't think a circle defense is going to be pliable here. Let's use a skein. We can get our archers tucked behind a long line of skein infantry, and that'll give us a little tiny pocket as these guys continue to move down into this little Peekaboo Ridge Valley. I want to get them over here, but the enemy infantry, or the enemy still has archers over there, so I can't have these guys run over there without them being shot. I think we'll just risk it. We'll move both the infantry and the archers down here. Repositioning like this is always a difficult proposition, right? These guys are going to be getting shot the whole time. While these troops are running, they're being shot by enemy archers. I see Vanguard Ferris still chopping away at our guys. I see very vulnerable troops running without a shield, getting pounded with javelins. But if you have to reform from a shit location to a good location, and that new location, now we're set up pretty well, is going to pay dividends, sometimes it's a little bit like saving money when you're younger, right? You save money when you're younger, and then the interest starts to compound. That pain initially of not, hanging out with your friends or buying a new computer is paid back many times fold as your interest starts to develop, right? So it's one of those things in life where that upfront discipline is paid back to you multiple times later on. The enemy infantry is starting to wade in here. That skein should be able to hold them back a little bit, and now these archers have a beautiful fucking line of fire. Look at the death spam, right? We're mowing their units down all of a sudden, and that's what I was talking about. Right now we're starting to collect compounding interest from our strategy, from our reforming here to a better location. It's still not perfect, but we have a beautiful ridge line to shoot through. All their archers have to approach from there, and we have this infantry now in place to intercept the enemy infantry. These guys can charge. Look how many of our infantry's massed up there. Maybe we can't win this battle, I don't know, but just like the first battle, we're certainly going to try. Archers are unloading. These guys are now in a square, so these guys are going to get shot in the side, right? You've seen me do this before. If you have a strong line of archers and you can distract the enemy and pull them into a square, you can shoot their infantry full of fucking arrows as they're busy trying to maul your square. Our archer line here is at least sparring okay with the enemy archers, even though these are high-level archers they're attacking. I can put this cav line right in the midst of the archers here in shield wall, strictly to occupy the archers. Those guys aren't in there to kill, they're there and there to basically stop the enemy from shooting. This infantry battle is just a slugfest. We just don't have enough infantry really to hold them back, and unfortunately, again, our reinforcements are coming out in shit locations. But these guys are doing good. God, this would be unreal if we could win this battle. Just like the first battle, I didn't think we had any chance of winning. Maybe, right? We are doing some good work. There's plenty of green death spam, even though we have low-level troops. We've got a nice defensive line here, holding back their jab cav, and our archers are positioned beautifully, right? We're still reaping dividends from our reforming of the troops earlier in this battle. Very green death spam. Come on, boys. Of course, here I wish I was on a horse, right? I'd be down there helping my men roll through this heavy cav line that's attacking them. Enemy archers here continue to skirmish. I think we'll attack them with this infantry. Even if we don't win this battle at this stage, we've made a good fight of it. Our infantry is told, our archers are told to charge it. Look at the death spam. I want to emphasize this. When you're attacked by lots of cav, do not have your archers moving and don't have them shooting. Tell them to hold fire and charge. Because 10 archers swinging at a cavalry, they still fucking mangle them, right? These guys are dead. They basically are just weaker infantry, but if they're all attacking, right, the enemy gets mauled. Now that the cav line is mostly dissolved, we're going to move these archers back. They can fire at will. And this infantry is now starting to swallow up the enemy archers. Come on, boys, pull this out. Look at the line of sight our archers have. This beautiful firing squad. Anything that comes through this slot here is absolutely mowed down. And now we have infantry here to protect our archers. I think we'll open up this line of sight even better and move our infantry to the side here and then put them in a square. That way all of our archers can just fire away through here. Now we're going to drag this square away from us because we want to shoot these guys in the back. Right, our archers are just firing away at all these infantry here. If they're facing you, they'll block all the arrows. Now, our archers are just smoking their archers, right? Because their archers are jammed into this little slot, and our archers have a beautiful wide position, and all of their infantry that's attacking our square here is being shot. Now, admittedly, it looks like we're simply running out of troops. I think our reinforcements are done entering the battle here. These troops are out of ammo. Charge, right? At some stage, you want to charge with your archer because your guys that are holding their shields up, at least they're in battle. You see all those crossbowmen charging with their shields? That's more guys that are going to be interrupting the enemy archers and giving us a shot to win this battle. Okay, their square is basically dissolved. I think we're fucked because these infantrymen are going to turn their... We don't have any other units now to use either. I've got 10 guys in that square dissolving. And here come their enemy infantry, and of course they're leading with shields. I mean, they're making a valiant effort of it, but these archers can't handle infantrymen charging with shield and shock, right? The enemy has shield warriors with guys with executioner axes behind them. This battle is over. Sorry to break the suspense if you were rooting for us here. Still, we certainly made a fucking fine effort of it in this second battle. I'm very content with this second battle, and of course I'm thrilled with the results of the first battle. I'll have to go back and look to see how strong. You see the enemy has more reinforcements. They're low rank, but nevertheless we lost the second battle by a significant margin. But that first battle especially was incredible. That was like a 1 in 20 or 1 in maybe 100 battle where we just took a huge strong force of Aserai and fucking knocked their dicks in the dirt. Our last guy's getting zerged down here as we lose the second attempt here with the RTS mod. Nevertheless, oh, by the way, look at this. He got 4 kills with Zuvan, right? So by he, I mean the AI. The AI basically did a disastrous job of fighting with Zuvan. 4 kills and he got killed, right? So the AI obviously doesn't know how to use my character like I do. Nevertheless, right, we killed 950 guys here, so we killed 3/4 of the Aserai force. I'm very happy with that result. Hopefully you enjoyed this RTS over perspective here, this overhead view of this difficult battle, right? We're fighting an incredibly difficult Aserai force using our inner circle of hell and this Peekaboo Ridge strategy. You know, we were able to give these guys quite a fight despite these low-level troops in our army. Right, again, almost no tier 5 troops or 6 in our entire army. Well, that wraps up this episode. We're going to call that another successful attempt here. That first battle, I'll have to go back and watch that again. That was like a combination of luck and just beautiful tactics that worked for us there. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you think of this series, fellas. Please subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.